Hey, this is Tommy with Alderman Farms. Welcome back to hashtag Follow Friday. Today, we're going to meet Come On Homesteading.
I appreciate you taking a little time out to come hang out with us here on hashtag Follow Fridays at Alderman Farms. You know the drill. We're here to promote you. We're here to give you a platform to tell our viewers, the Alderman Farms family, who you are, what you're about, and why they need to come become part of your family at the Come On Homestead. So the floor is yours, man. Introduce yourself. Tell us what you're about, what you got going.
Nice. Thanks for having me. My name's David Warren with Come On Homesteading. I have 8 acres here in north central Florida. And really what this channel is all about is teaching the kids, really. I mean, that's the basis of this channel. I have a strong belief that we need to get our kids back into nature, understanding where their food comes from, work ethics, all of that. And when I started this channel, I decided that if it ever did make it to a point where that it made money in any kind of way, that at least 10% of that money will go back to programs like FFA, 4-H, fishing programs, anything to do with getting the kids outside and getting them to understand nature and the enjoyments that nature can bring. Because it's not really just about the work ethic and everything else. It's about giving them another view of life. You know, everything nowadays is so instant, and you know, like with the internet, you can just type it up and you can find what you want. There's nothing like hands-on. And I do a lot of building on my channel. I owned a steel company for 12 years, a home renovating company, and a sports bar as well. In 2007 and 8, the recession happened. I lost all of my businesses. And so I had to regroup. And so I went back to school for technology. I actually work for a college now because of, well, kids. I'm all about the kids. And technology is something that's not going nowhere. But even though I work in the technology field, I feel that it's important to get away from technology to a degree. You need to understand it and embrace it. But at the same time, you need to understand the core of what's going on in the world and where your food comes from, you know, how you get that energy and how you build this home and all of that. And so that's what I'm trying to bring to YouTube. It's more of an educational thing. We have 36 chickens so far, 5 ducks, just had quite a few kids on the homestead. I got eight goats now. I just had triplets this past weekend.
Wow.
And we're going to be doing a rabbit mansion here soon. I like to name everything. I did build a chicken coop, which is called Egg Quentin, because I back up to a swamp here. Got a lot of big lakes and stuff around me. So we got a lot of predators. So I overbuild everything. And I figured I'd build the San Quentin of chicken coops because I don't want nobody to get their hands on my chicken. So I try to overbuild everything. We're also in the process right now. I do all of my own food processing, whether dehydrating, sausage. You know, I grew up in 4-H and FFA programs, learning how to do the hog ham programs, making my own sugar cured hams and sausages and bacon and all of that. So I'm in the process of right now building a 700 square foot outdoor kitchen and walk-in cooler and pantry. And then we'll also have about another 400 square foot lean-to off the front, which is where my big green egg is. And also I have a 4-burner hibachi. I also do a Fired Up Friday on this channel where I'm always cooking or smoking something, whether it be backstrap, stuffed backstrap. We'll throw pork loins into pineapples and smoke them. I try to do things a little bit different. I don't like to cook just traditional. I like to add a little twist to it. So I cook 95% of the time outside. I currently stay in a fifth wheel right now. I moved out on this homestead about a year ago. It was raw woods. And I've cleared out about 2 acres so far. I've gotten power and water out here. I was going to start building my home. I'm actually going to do a structural steel, somewhat tiny home, about 700 square foot, as a nod back to my old industry that I used to work into. But with building prices the way they are now, we all know that they're outrageous right now. So I put that on hold and been focusing more on infrastructure. I believe you should have your infrastructure right before you add more stuff in. So I made sure that I got my goats situated well. I made sure my chickens were situated well, and I won't bring rabbits in until I have that well. And I'm going to add a couple more paddocks. I'll probably be adding sheep eventually as well. And then it'll kind of evolve as there. We all know that homesteading never ends. It just evolves with your circumstance, situation. So really that's what we're about. The core is all about the children, teaching the children. I like to get kids out here at some point with some of these local programs around my area. I would like to start getting some of the kids out here to kind of start teaching them to build. We're going to build raised beds out of metal decking and stuff here soon. I would like to get a couple of kids out here to help me with that project, just to kind of give them the hands-on, learning how to build and use their own hands. I'm all about recycling, repurposing. Everything that I'm building right now is stuff that I already had on the homestead. Because of the prices of everything, I walk around and envision, okay, I can turn this into this, and I kind of want to give that back to the next generation too, that you don't need to go out and buy everything. I'm also a welder. My tractor, I needed forks for my tractor. They wanted $1,000 for it, Well, I'm a welder. So I looked around, had some scrap still, and within 4 hours, I made some slide forks for my tractor that I use more than the bucket, and saved myself $1,000 just out of 4 hours and a little bit of scrap, And that's kind of what I want to teach the kids, to let them know, it doesn't matter how much money you got and all of that. It's about being creative and willing to put a little bit of work into something, and you have a lot more pride at the end of the day when you do that. So really, in short, that's what I'm about.
Man, that's awesome. I tell you, you're addressing a need, because when it talks about kids being detached from where their food comes from, I got news for you. It's not just kids.
Oh yeah.
There are adults, functioning adults, walking around today who think that food comes out of the back of Walmart.
Yes,
that they make it back there, and so I love it. And we're involved with our local farmers market, and we're big about trying to attract kids to the farmers market for that very reason, to get them connected to where their food comes from. So bravo. I applaud your efforts there. Now, I've got a question. You might have the most unique channel name or homestead name that I've run across. So tell us what that's about. How did you come up with Come On Homesteading?
Come On is something that I've been saying since I was a teenager. I'm known for it. I mentioned earlier I owned a sports bar, a restaurant. Well, our slogan was, "We sling chicken wings. Come on." You know what I mean? And I used to have my waitresses answer the phone. "Thank you for calling Strike Zone. We sling chicken wings. Come on." It's just something I've always said. And so, whenever I was doing this, I've had people tell me to do YouTube for a while because of all the different stuff that I build and all the different stuff that I do. But it wasn't until this point in my life that I was actually had the time to do it, because, I started my career over. Like I said, I went back to college. I got a couple of degrees and all of that. And now I have the time. So I decided to do it. So I wanted a name that was catchy, but represented me. Mm-hmm. And, I have a lot of plays, and I didn't even realize I sound as Southern as I do until I actually started YouTube and I edited it for the first time. I was like, wow, so I just embraced it, and I was like, well, how about Come On Homesteading, and I close out all my videos with, "Come on, let's go homesteading," because that's what it's about. It's about getting them to come to this life, and understanding it, taste the freshness of the food, understand, when I did all those hog ham programs and stuff, whenever I was younger, I was in some of the meat processing plants and stuff like that. And I seen what that was, and you can do it so much better. And a lot of people that frown on this type of lifestyle, if they actually seen what their commercial food comes from, they would think that this is the best lifestyle in the world. So that's what it's about. It's about education. I'm not trying to force it on anybody, but I'm trying to give them the tools that they need. And there's a lot of great homesteading channels out here on YouTube. And one of the biggest things that I did not expect was the community aspect of it.
Yeah.
And I love that. And I have met so many great friends, and I got a lot of channels out there that really promote me and what I'm doing. And I do the same. I'm all about giving back. For me, it's about your neighbor. I did a video during the election time. I don't do politics on my channel, but I did a whole video on election day about loving your neighbor, helping your neighbor, and getting past all of that other stuff. And just let's get back to loving your neighbor and helping, because that's what it's about. It's about, it doesn't matter views or anything. It's about helping each other. And that's what I love about the homesteading community. It's about community, and it's about helping. And that was the biggest thing that shocked me when it came to YouTube. And so for me, if I can be a part of that and kind of help the next generation, you know, kind of get into it, I mean, it's a win for me if I never make $1 doing this.
Yeah.
You know, for me, it's kind of a legacy for my grandkids. For my grandkids to be able to, when I'm gone, they can kind of see my journey here and what I've grown, you know, and maybe implement it in their life somehow. So, and what I try to be on this channel is authentic. And I say a lot in my videos, I'm going to show you the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yep.
You know, a lot of channels don't do that. You know, a lot of channels glamorize this like it's the easiest thing in the world. If you don't love this and you're not willing to work and really put everything, you will never make it.
That's right.
And so I try to be as authentic as possible. What you see is what you get. And you know, I show you the bad and the ugly too. And there's definitely some bad and ugly.
Yeah, that's why our tagline is where life on the farm just got real.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
We Patty and I are the same people every, you know, Monday through Friday as we are on Saturday and Sunday. And if you meet us at a conference somewhere, we're just like we are on the videos, you know, and we show the good, bad, and the ugly, and because it's just real, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I mean, you got your highs and you got your lows, and you're gonna have your heartbreaks. You know, there's nothing worse than having to put down an animal that you've cared for, you know, even if you're raising them for meat purposes. You know what I mean? To see one suffer and have to put them down. I mean, if it doesn't bother you, then something's wrong with you, you know. And if I have to do that, I haven't had to show that yet on my channel because my channel's new. But I mean, if it gets to that point, I'm going to show it. I'm going to be transparent. I'm going to explain why it happened, you know, because I'm not an expert at this by any means. You know, I mess up all the time, you know, and trial and error is a lot of this.
We process animals. I got 50 meat chickens growing right out here outside my house, and here in a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, it'll be time to process them. Yeah. And we'll do it. I won't take any pleasure in it, but you know, when I get through with that, I will likely have to go take a nap every so often, every time, because it's just a lot of death. You know, I mean, it's a lot of death. I don't want to get sappy. I know that that's what God put those chickens here for. They're serving their purpose, but still, it's a weighty matter.
Yes, it is.
It's a weighty matter to have all of that life in your hands, and you're the one draining that life out. And again, I don't mind doing it. No. We do it. We thank God for His provision. We enjoy the chickens, but I don't want them to suffer. I hope I have a good cut every time I cut that artery. You know, and but man, when you just get the blood all over you and you're doing that for 2 or 3 hours, it just weighs on you.
And if it doesn't, you really shouldn't be doing it. Honestly,
that's right. That's right.
You know what I mean? If you're the type of person that it doesn't affect you in a way, then there's a real good chance you're not taking care of your animals the way that you should be.
Boy,
you know, I believe that. Like I get out there and scrub my water bowls and stuff because pollen get in them. I know a lot of people don't, but I do, you know, and here in Florida, we got a lot of pollen and everybody's like, you're crazy. And I'm like, well, I wouldn't want to drink that. So I don't want my animals to drink that. You know what I mean? And that's just the way I look at it. I try to give them the best life that I can while they're here, you know?
Yeah, that's what we say. We say we want our animals to have a wonderful life in one bad day.
Yep. Because I can assure you, if they knew the commercial side of it, it's nowhere the same.
Nowhere the same.
Nowhere the same.
All right, you know what to do next, folks. There's a link in the description of this video to Come On Homesteading. And you need to follow that link. Go over there and subscribe. Ring the bell. Comment on as many videos as you can and let them know that Alderman Farms sent you. Thanks for watching.